Scream again, welcome to Does It Matter? Been thinking about this a lot lately, had time to think about goal setting and how important it is. Writing them down, voicing them, and then obviously practicing the steps towards those goals regularly and frequently. And there's some steps that are missing sometimes in some of the goal setting that I've certainly practiced and the goal setting that I've seen other people do as well. And I think it's a common mistake in that people decide that I want to be successful in this given way, I want this kind of partner, I want to achieve this goal in my academic or work or career or sports. And I've talked about it before, what are you willing to invest? The quality of investment is proportionate to the return. So, you're going to be investing in heavily in order to get what you want. But often we externalize, and it's a danger. It's certainly something I've been horribly guilty of many, many times, is that you externalize. You create all the external circumstances under which you'll be successful, okay? Set everything up, get everything set up, hustle, 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 hustle. Never considering once, or often enough anyway, what you're bringing internally to the table, all right? So you might want the job, you might want that girl or that guy, you might want that fellowship or scholarship. You might want those things. And you might be prepared to work very hard to get them. But there's another aspect to this. Are you internally the right person for that situation? Are you the right person for that person? Are you the right person for that job? It's not just what you're willing to invest. It's not just what you're willing to do to get that externalized goal. Have you done your work inside? Have you established a landscape internally that is compatible with the goals you've set yourself externally? It's a huge question, and you should be asking it forever. You should continuously be asking it of yourself, because sometimes you'll fall short. Sometimes you haven't done your inner work. You haven't done the work inside. You haven't really laid out the groundwork. And often that means that the stuff that you want, the people, the things, the situations that you want, they're maybe not such a good thing for you to have. Maybe they're not such a good thing for you to go for, or you're not ready for those things. You're just not ready for them. You see in the game shows and lotteries and things where people win large amounts of money. You see it amongst sports stars all the time. NBA players make $150 million and they're broke. People who win lotteries, tens of millions of dollars, and 3 years later they're broke. Okay? And that's because their inner landscape didn't match the outer one at all. Okay? Their inner landscape was one of deficits and cracks, and they were poorly integrated. So what happens when you pour water into a poorly integrated vessel? It all pours out. Doesn't matter how much water you pour in, that broken vessel will empty out every time. It will waste and piss away opportunities. It will alienate people. It will fail to see opportunities in front of it. It will do all those things because it's a broken vessel. It needs to repair itself. It needs to integrate itself so that it can hold the water that will make it happy, that will give it what it wants, what it needs to thrive and survive. Bit of a crappy analogy, but I think you see where I'm going there. So it's not just a matter of asking, what do I want and how do I get it? But who am I to want this? What am I? What kind of creature am I? What is the nature of my character? Does it match the challenges I've set in front of myself? Because an awful lot of failure stems from the fact that you're trying to run a 100-meter sprint having never trained for it. That you're trying to charm some person and win them over, whether it be in a career application or a romantic one, and you've got two left feet, and your foot's in your mouth half the time, okay? You haven't trained your communication skills. You haven't trained the things that you're going to need to achieve that goal. And those things don't just come from routine practice. That, you know, you can get only so far with that kind of rote practice and rote learning. You actually have to make changes to the kind of creature you are, the character you have, in order to be able to really seek that excellence. And it's going to be painful, okay? Referring back to my previous video about eating that nice shit sandwich, that horrid mess that you have to consume in order to get to where you really want to be, and what you also have to be what you really want to be. It's not enough to externalize all your goals and go, she's who I want, he's who I want, this goal's what I want, this job's what I want, this career's what I want, this scholarship, I desperately have to have it, it's going to set my whole career up, blah, blah, blah. So who the fuck are you? Who are you to have this thing? What makes you worthy of it? Why do you deserve it? What have you built inside that's synonymous with the success you seek? Do you deserve it? Do you think this person could do better than you? Do you think this employer could find someone better than you? What would the qualities of that person be, this person who's superior to you? What would those qualities be? Well, there you go. There's your roadmap straight up. But that's the person you need to be. So before you even start really pushing into the territory of achieving your goals, you got to be building that infrastructure, that internal infrastructure, so that you're ready for the rigors that are to come. You're not going to be able to eat that sandwich. You're not going to be able to eat that shit sandwich. You're not going to be able to, unless you've got something of that set up, some of it set up at least. You've got something of the character that's required. It's the heart of Stoicism, is that you create an internal landscape. The Egyptians had a fantastic idea. As above, so below, okay? Heaven mirrored in the earth. And when there was heaven and earth were mirroring each other, there was harmony. Now, it's a brilliant, brilliant metaphor for life as a human being. Your inner world has to reflect what you want in the external world. If you want kindness, you want love, you better be giving out kindness and love. If you want discipline and the returns of discipline, you better be disciplined, really disciplined. If you want imagination and exploration and joy, then you better be exploring the inside of yourself as well as the outside. You better be using your imagination to investigate yourself and investigate what it is that you want, what it is that you feel, why you feel it. You need to make a science project of yourself as much as you do the external world from which we all try to draw the desires and the wonderful experiences that we crave. We're supposed to want things. We're supposed to want experiences. We're supposed to seek out joy, laughter, orgasm, satisfaction of a million varieties. We're meant to seek these things out, but you got to deserve them. It's like we live in a culture where we feel entitled to a lot of these things. You're not entitled to shit, really. Seriously, you're not. From an evolutionary perspective, which is where I carry a lot of my philosophy, you're not entitled to anything. All right? Really, honestly, you live in a society which gives you rights. But those rights are fictions. They're not real. They're agreements that we've made. And they're fucking wonderful agreements. I love them. Okay? I'm very grateful for them. But they're fictions. They're not real. From an evolutionary and biological perspective, which is where when you come down to it, that's what reality is. You only deserve what you can get. You only deserve what your attributes will allow you to achieve. Now, we live in a society which gives you some stuff, helps you out, a society that's still working, hasn't succeeded yet, but is working towards equality of opportunity, where everyone gets a similar starting point. There's a sort of base package that we all get. Now, we're pretty close to that in some respects. In other respects, we've got some work to do. But there's never been a better time in human history to try and get a start on things, even in this COVID craziness at the moment. And, there's been a lot of unemployment, it'd be hard to get work, blah, 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 all those things. There's still tons of opportunities to grow in different directions. If you can't get enough work, you can't get enough money, then grow in terms of your qualifications, get some study going. even if it's informal. Study your ass off. Learn some new skills, learn some languages, learn to code, whatever it is that you want to do, whatever it is that drives you. Learn to sculpt, I don't care. Become an entrepreneur, sell some shit, whatever, okay? Go into the community, do some community work, community gardens, okay? Pick an NGO and go and help them out. Find out what it is that's going to get you up in the morning. Because the things that get you up in the morning aren't just your external goals. It's character, heart. It's what you're able to offer, what you're able to open up and offer to other people. Okay? Are you of service to the people around you? Are you of service to your community? Are you of service to your nation, to the world, to the planet? Okay? At every level, we try to be of service. You can't be of service to everyone at the same time. No one's an every man or an every woman. It's not possible. But if you're doing your best, and if you've constructed a character that's equally balanced between meeting your own needs and then meeting those of society and the people around you and your immediate group and your family and so on, and then the greater society, if you construct an effective balance, we're going to live in a better world, full stop. Full stop, 100%. Things get better when people seek balance, not one way or the other, not one ideology or another. It's why I'm an atheist. You don't have to be an atheist to do this, but it does make it a little easier. I don't subscribe to any particular ethos. I used to be a Marxist, I used to be a libertarian. Now I just adopt useful, compatible philosophical tenets from many schools of thought. You don't have to. Good ideas are everywhere. So hang on to good ideas that work. Recognize when they don't work. Recognize context. So, I think it just stopped, yes? So, in final, do your inner work. Do the hard work now. Set yourself up properly. And then go out and externalize. Everything you externalize is going to be a reflection of what you've got inside you. And you won't be able to help that. That's one thing you don't have much control over. Okay? Get this right first. Get this landscape, this magnificent country inside of yourself. Get it set up properly, or at least set it up as you go. Make sure that the external factors that you're pushing out there are reflective of what's inside. And if you don't like what's coming out sometimes, have a look inside. Cheers. Keep working hard.